But the older you get within the context of Nigeria, it's difficult for you to see yourself being more than one thing. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Madness in Nigeria Live, and I'm your host, Gisi. Today we'll be talking about the story of Toby. Toby is a archetypal Nigerian boy. They gave birth to him in the early 90s, let's say 92. And at the age of 5, Toby had dreams. The dream of becoming the president one day of Nigeria. So at a very young age, he started reading current affairs. He knew to become the president, he just needed to be 35, at least in the Nigeria constitution. So he started preparing, reading on the constitution. It was fun for him. And for that reason, his dad was very proud. The reason being, it makes the job part for the dad very easy. You see, in Nigeria, at least for that generation, you really could only be one of three things: a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. So since he was already reading the constitution, it made sense for the dad, the mom, and everyone else to see Toby as a lawyer. See, but Toby wants to be the president. So Toby kept the dream alive. Towards teenagehood, Toby started questioning, because as at then he has experienced 2 elections, and it started becoming very evident to him that even though everybody tell him he's the leader of tomorrow, and he realized his parents' generation were still not the leader of tomorrow. It was his grandparents' generation, which was surprising. Like, how can he be the leader of tomorrow if his own parents' generation were not the leader of tomorrow yet? Or is the trick to be the leader of tomorrow when tomorrow is already in the past? But Toby could not complain, so Toby kept on preparing, get good grades, was always locked in school. Finally went into art classes, started taking courses that would make it easier for him to become a lawyer, making his dad very proud. You see, then he wrote his first JAMB. He got the cutoff mark right, everything was right, got good post-UTME grade, but didn't gain admission. Okay, we'll go again next year. Wrote again next year, the same thing. Went again, third time is the sham, and he finally got in to a federal school to study law. Beautiful. Everybody was celebrating. Toby for president. Toby the lawyer, normal craze. Then fast forward, the course that was supposed to be 4 years have lasted 6 years thanks to strike. But Toby still had his dream. He's going to become a lawyer. Even though the dream of being the president has started going down, but at least he's going to be a lawyer. He's going to make real difference. Fast forward, after being called to bar, everything is like, how can he make a living? That's the question. How can he make a living? It's one thing to study for a course. It's another thing to get a job working for that course. And more so, to get a job right now and earn well is difficult. You see, there was a time that the Nigerian Dream was possible. The Nigerian Dream is one wherein the middle class can live in complete comfort, meaning a middle class woman, a middle class man can own a car, can build their own house, can send their children to school. But that dream, is it still our dream? Is it still the Nigerian dream? I think that's something I've been thinking about. Well, I try to remiss the dream. We're not going to lie. My age bracket now, we don't really think about sending our kids to school to study for law. We're thinking they should go into tech. Well, it's the same pattern. It's the same rhyme. We just rhyme. Because that's the thing with Nigeria. We rhyme a lot. Let's say we don't repeat things, but we do rhyme a lot. And it's an interesting thing. I was thinking about the Nigerian dream, which is very funny here, because we live in a country where dreams mean a lot. Most Nigerians believe in their dream. If they dream that they are eating food, oh my God. Fasting 3 days dry to stop the poison that the village people have given them in the dream. Or is it sex in dream? Spiritual husband, spiritual wife. That can only lead to separation of marriages. Yes. That's what dreams are. And when I say can lead to separation of marriages, I'm saying your husband might have repeated dream of you having sex with someone and that marriage is over. But in a country where dreams mean that much, how come our national dream, the zeitgeist, has turned into a nightmare in a way that we didn't even realize? And more so than that, we don't even question the dream. What is the Nigerian dream? I'm not entirely sure, but I think one thing we all agree the Nigerian dream is being able to own, like, just being rich. That's the best way to just equate the Nigerian dream, being rich. And what riches mean might be someone being able to own their own car, build their own house, send their kids to school. For someone else, riches might just be being able to go to vacation once or twice a year if you can afford it. And all these are good things, but how come that is hardly the reality? What is the reality of the Nigerian dream? The reality is the vast majority of the population cannot afford the basic amenities. But we're supposed to dream on. That's the thing about the Nigerian dream. It's not clear. And more so than it not being clear is the fact that it doesn't seem achievable. So am I here to critique the Nigerian dream? Not at all. I just want us to think about the Nigerian dream. Because in reality, the potential to dream about a lot of things is only available for kids. But the older you get within the context of Nigeria, it's difficult for you to see yourself being more than one thing. Because the Nigerian dream is opportunity cost. The cost to send you to school, to graduate, to go for your master's is too expensive, and to think of doing that alongside funding a hobby or another project is something that your parents cannot even put themselves to do. And that's the Nigerian dream. Opportunity cost is the sacrifices we make to finally get the job you are looking for, and then you find that the company is leaving your country because the inflation rate is not so sustainable for them to run a successful business in Nigeria. And that's why the Nigerian dream now is earning in dollars. But even with the earning in dollars, the brand image of a Nigerian man is getting so bad that it's difficult for you to get a teleworking job that is not in Nigeria. The Nigerian dream. Or is it the Nigerian nightmare? The Nigerian dream. That's it, guys. This is it. There's no much to it. It's just the fact that the Nigerian dream is the opportunity cost. There's no clear solution, and there are a lot of episodes where I try to think of ways we can make difference. But the truth is, no matter the dream you are dreaming and the potential, you need resources to make it come true. And in a country like Nigeria, where the resources is very limited, especially if you are not part of the 1 or 2%, it's difficult to have a dream. And more difficult than that is trying to make the dream come into reality. But in reality is you can make it happen if you believe. If you believe! Honestly, you can make it happen if you believe. It's not going to be an easy one, and you might have to fine-tune and reanalyze your dreams over and over again. But hopefully, one day it comes to be. So right now, the Nigerian dream is anybody trying to go into entertainment or any other form of source of income where your resources is sort of linked to your value, and your value is sort of linked to the money you can make, but it's still not clear. It's still not clear how to make that the reality. So I don't know what I would call the Nigerian dream, but I think the Nigerian dream has to be the opportunity cost of getting whatever dream you want to follow. Because there will be a lot of sacrifices. One of the ways I wanted to take this episode was follow the Toby story, or the point to marriage and giving birth to his own kids and finally getting the job, and then taxation of that company leads to bankruptcy. So it's homeless with 2 kids. But even without that story seems I could have used any name. Instead of Toby, I could have used Emmanuel. I could have used John. Because that's how common that story is. And that's the Nigerian story of the average middle class. So, this is a bonus episode. Thanks again for coming. Next week, we'll be back with a full-blown episode.